Hello. Welcome everyone to another episode of Role Playing Guest. This is Spencer hopping in here for another quick intro. As you know, this is Session 2 in Season 7 of our dive into The Legend of the Five Rings, a game from Fantasy Flight Games, set in the land of Rokugan. In this episode, we get more into the story that Nick has prepared. We meet Heraku, Kikashi, and Victor's lords before they set out to the Caillou Wall and into the Shadowlands. It's all pretty good stuff, and they even get into a fight when they're on the other side. If you have a game that you have made or have a game that you absolutely love and you want to hear it in a podcast form, or you haven't heard a game that you are interested about in a podcast, please send it to us. We love testing games. Our entire Season 6 was based off of games that developers sent to us, and other games that we have tested for the seasons have been through audience recommendations, things that you have suggested and wanted to hear about. So we love to get the recommendations from you so we know that we're doing something that you actually like. So you can send those recommendations to us either in Gmail at rolepg13@gmail.com, or you can also DM us on any of our social media accounts at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. You should also check out our website where Tyler is posting awesome stuff all the time, like the monsters that he's made, as well as the reviews of the games that we have already played. Thank you so much to our patrons over the land of Patreon, Brad Joe Stevens, and Sir Guy. You are the flat bottom to our grocery bags. Without you, we'd be impossible to use. Additionally, thank you so much to those who are still listening to the guidance of the CDC and the WHO. As we look around the world, there are a lot of countries that are doing great work with the COVID-19 pandemic, able to reduce death rates and infections. Here in the United States, we're still struggling to understand that masks work. So that's where we are. So please, listen to the experts, look on those websites, the websites of the CDC and WHO for expert advice, as well as just do the things that they've already suggested, things like social distancing, wearing a mask, and washing your hands. Again, we are continuing our support for the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as the 8 Can't Wait or Campaign Zero Foundation. These are statistic-based approaches to reform policing and get equality in the United States, as well as, in the rest of the world as well. That's all I have, so let's get to the episode.
Spencer said, oh no.
No, he was joking, okay. And then I was saying that...
No, I know he was joking.
It wasn't recorded.
I thought it was serious.
Okay,
I thought something broke.
No, luckily nothing has broken. Just my soul.
You'll live.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Role Playing Guys. I am Nick, the GM here. This I believe, is Session 2, Episode 2 of Season 7. What?
What are you showing me, Tyler?
Oh, Tyler's showing the picture of that I sent to you guys of my new computer.
Yeah, this thing's fancy. It's got a little light show going on.
Yeah, I recently got a new gaming PC. I built individual parts. My brother-in-law helped me. Did a lot of building and stuff, and so yeah, it has a clear side to the case, and I can make a light show happen or whatever if I wanted to. But anyway, that's not related to Legend of the Five Rings, 5th edition. Let's get back into Rokugan here. Again, I'm Nick, the GM. With me is Spencer, playing the role of Victor.
Victor.
Tyler, playing the role of Kikashi.
That's me. That's what I'm playing.
And Rebecca, playing the character of Heraku.
Hey!
He got it. Guys, he did it.
Yeah, I finally...
You said it right. I was waiting to call you out. I'm messing it up again.
Heraku!
I feel like I've been exposed to so many anime memes and everything on the internet and whatever that I've just heard so many Japanese names or Japanese inspired names. Anyway, but yeah, last time we with some struggle went through a couple of duels in which the major daimyo Hidashi had a couple dozen of the Crab Clan's up and coming warriors, samurai, shugenji, and so forth.
The top college prospects.
Basically, engage in skirmishes and duels to kind of prove their worth to show if they're up for the challenge of, some direct investigations and journeys into the Shadowlands itself. And so, Victor very easily defeated his opponent. There's a bit of struggle
Not
between
really.
the two.
I should have died.
There was some final blow, like normal
There was
samurai
air
show.
because of
everywhere.
the stress.
I'm not gonna lie. It was just a very breathy last battle.
Yeah, okay.
No,
So I was
okay,
remembering
that
the,
pun's for me. I'll
damage
keep
wise,
that one.
but yeah, strife wise, it was.
We'll
it
leave
was a
that
close
one
call.
alone.
Indeed. Anyway, also the two Shugenji struggled a little bit because they're not trained necessarily to
Got
fight.
my butt
people.
kicked
Again. But anyway, the three of you were taken to the. Why am I giving a recap, Tyler? I'm so sorry.
I know. I was saying I'm out of a job. I'm out of 2 jobs now.
So you want to?
Spoilers.
Is there anything
Spoilers.
you wanted to add to that, Tyler?
Just kidding. No spoilers. But you might as well just finish. You got it all done, man.
You three were told by.
So basically,
Kikashi.
after we fought, we decided to, we joined Hidashi. He was like, "You guys are going to go on the secret mission to fight a goblin camp that's built very close to the wall, and you're going to eradicate them." Basically, at least from what I understand.
I was a little upset that we didn't get the name of either the Bushi or the Shugenja that was with him. Just putting that
Right,
out
his
for
two
the
advisors.
record. Yeah.
Gotcha. Avoided that question.
What are you looking for?
Paper.
To write down their names.
Wait for it. I already named one of them.
So actually,
Trent?
you guys
Ricardo.
rested. You guys are back at the. Anyway, I'll say that Hidashi has the two advisors. One a Bushi, a warrior, and the other one a Shugenja.
Do we
Really?
still not get
I
their
already
name?
named him.
Okay. So the Shugenja is actually the father of Haruka.
No, that is not the right name.
I was going to say Kikashi
No, that was your
Kuni
name.
is the name of Tyler's
No,
character.
that's not the name of his character. But I was looking at the wrong spot. It's Heraku.
Heraku!
Fight.
There.
Wait, I'm not
Okay.
fighting anybody. I am not a fighter.
Wait, who's who? Now I'm completely lost. Somebody's
Rebe-
dad, and then there's a rock
Heraku
character.
is the Shugenja.
The
Okay,
Shugenja.
right?
The Shugenji advisor to Hidashi, the daimyo. The Shugenja advisor's name is Heraku, the father of Haruka. And Haruka has and it's expected that Haruka will one day replace Heraku as the spiritual Shugenji advisor to the daimyo Hidashi.
Goodness gracious, you could say a tongue twister with Heraku and Haruka.
Heraku, Hidashi.
Nope, not
Alright.
gonna go for it. What's the other guy's name? Who's the Bushi?
Paul.
The Bushi
Paul? Brad?
is
Jules? Steven?
no.
Guy?
Sir
Bushi's
guy.
name-
Sir Guy?
The Bushi's name is Kayuka.
Kayuka. Oh, Kayuka.
Is Kayuka a girl or a boy? Kind of sounds like a more feminine name, but it could be a
That's
dude.
what I was gonna say. Usually, Ka is.
Is it?
I feel like usually.
The female Bushi.
Huh.
Female, okay. I knew it. Called it.
Kayuka. What's her last name?
Uh,
Can't find it.
Stevenson.
All right, we're going to outside the wall.
Kayuka Kayu.
Kayu. Okay.
Yeah.
Kayuka
Anyway,
Cocoon.
It's good.
I feel like I'm just too. Sometimes I just feel like I'm too American to come up with good Japanese or Rokugani.
I'm actually glad I named my dad.
I do think that we need to put it out there that when we say these names, we are really trying not to be insensitive or offensive to any cultures.
We are trying.
We are
Right.
doing our best here, so please be patient
Yes.
Exactly.
if
Although,
the names come off
I
as...
am going along with the pronunciation guide in here, which it's like E-O-U, and stuff like that.
That's more
Just
than
send
nine.
us names you want us to use, and Nick will incorporate them.
Oh, dear.
Please, somebody send in the name like Butt Flaps or something like that, because Nick will have to use it because we have
Terrafolds.
made the promise.
I will
Plumbus.
find a way around it, and you know it.
See more butts. Classics.
We can barely get away with Victor here. So, but yeah. So the daimyo. After you guys rested, you guys go to the daimyo, and you see Heraku and Kayuka there standing on either side of him. I'm sure you're anxious to go on this very important mission to go out to the goblin camps. Before you go, however, each of your lords are here, and they wish to have a word with each of you individually. Haruka will speak with the person she reports to. Same with Kikashi, same with Victor. Each of them individually. And then, after that, you are instructed to go to report at the Kaiju wall, where Kayuka herself will, direct you in the way to the goblin camp.
That
Going
makes
to Goblin Town.
total sense. Down
So
down
who
to Goblin
Who wants to
Town.
go first?
Kikashi.
Kikashi wants to go first. Okay.
He takes the initiative.
Kikashi says it too.
And
just
the reason
raises
why
his
this,
hand
the reason
like,
why this
yes!
is happening is that the reason this is happening is each of your individual lords, or even though you are doing this for the Crab Clan, each of your lords will probably have some kind of agenda or purpose for allowing you to be considered for this as well. So Kikashi, I believe your lord is the ruler of the Falcon, one of the rulers of the Falcon clan.
Yeah, so my advisor, her name is Kaito Raiko. She's part of
That's
the
what it was,
Council of
Kaito.
Twilight, which is kind of the governing body of the Phantom Hunters that I'm a part of.
Yeah, so that is who is there. Sorry, it took me a second to find that. Kaito Raiko, she's there, and she says, Kikashi, congratulations for being considered for this mission. How are you feeling?
Well, Sensei, I got my butt kicked during training, but I'm ready to prove myself by slaying some goblins and using your teachings to further our goals.
Good. It did seem a bit unfair that they had you go against another member of the Crab Clan instead of creatures you're more accustomed to fighting. But that hardly matters now, right?
True. That's very true.
In any case, of course, since this mission is coming from the daimyo himself, obviously, this is very important to continue to strengthen the relationship that our clan has with the Crab Clan. But I just wanted to give you a few words of warning. You've never really gone into the Shadowlands itself. Well, as you know, you'll have to worry. You'll have to make sure. You have to be wary of the taint. It can affect anyone who sets foot in the Shadowlands, or it sometimes even affects those standing on the Kaiju wall. Sometimes close proximity can make that happen. Mm-hmm. But also, sometimes the Shadowlands give tempting offers to foreigners and visitors to it. I just want you to be aware that if anything tries to be too familiar with you, if anything tries to invite you deeper than you know you should, for the sake of the Falcon Clan and for this mission, ignore it.
Well, as your teachings have taught me, and as the Falcon Clan has taught, I know how to cleanse the taint. I know how to help my allies fight the enemies of darkness, and I'll use your teachings to the best of my abilities and resist any urges to go after my own agendas, I guess. Especially when we're on such an important mission, like you said, for the Dynamo.
Right. Okay. Well, I suppose that's all I have to say. Just be careful. out there.
My
Thank
lantern will be lit continuously as we go through.
All right. So that is Kaito Raiko. That is her advice to you. Which, by the way, I've seen Kaito as a male name elsewhere. So who knows?
Who knows?
All right. Between Rebecca and Spencer, who wants to go next?
I'm game.
Okay. So Heraku meets with Haruka individually and says, "Congratulations, my daughter. I had strong faith and belief that you would make it this far, and that you would be chosen. This will surely bring honor to you, to our family, and to the Crab Clan, and show that you will be ready and worthy to take up your mantle as soon as you are called to do so. Do you have any questions or concerns before you take your first journey into the Shadowlands?"
I thank you, Father, for your faith in me. Do you have any advice for my first journey?
Well, as you know, the Shadowlands is... you know well the nature of the taint. You know well the legends of how the Shadowlands have come to be. That the great Kami Fu Lang is the ruler of that land. I do not suspect that you will find many dangerous, overpowering monsters. In this first journey. But should you be asked to journey further, make sure you keep your wits about you, because even though there's another Shugenji in your group, you are the one that will have your companions' well-being on your shoulders. For that other Shugenji is merely part of the Falcon clan, a well-respected clan, but you have greater expectations upon you. You may show yourself in battle, you may show yourself in ritual, in ceremony, but know your place in all of this. Sometimes the Shadowlands may make you try to forget that. There's more than just goblins in there, so do not forget your place.
Yes, Father.
All right. Anything else that she wanted to say or anything? Okay, you're good.
Not that I can think of.
Cool. Then for Spencer, I hope I got this right. Basically, Victor's uncle is his lord, right?
Yes, Kiyoshi.
Kiyoshi. Thank you.
Yeah. A Rokugan name.
I'm surprised it's not like Heinrich or something, you know?
David.
Vladimir.
Avon.
Ivan.
Okay. So Kiyoshi takes Victor aside. It feels weird to say Victor among all these. But you know what? We'll get used to it. Victor, you are the lone Bushi in this trio that will be sent into the Shadowlands. Do you feel ready?
I've got to do the best that I can. I mean, these guys can't really defend themselves, so they need a bodyguard going out there, I guess. So somebody's got to be ready, am I right?
Right. Now, you're being sent out to fight goblins this time, which should be no problem, especially for you. But if for some reason there is more to this, just know that I sent you to be considered for this for the glory of our family, to prove your worth, because a lot of those people grew up. A lot of those people, because you have something that they did not have, and that is you started from a humble background. You spent your early years without knowing how to fight. Time will tell whether that gives you an advantage or a disadvantage. But I hope you will certainly keep that in mind. I'm counting on you to not disappoint me, because I am the one who trained you, and I expect you to use that to your advantage.
Yes, Kiyoshi.
Any questions? Do you have any concerns?
I have no concerns. If we're fighting
Are
goblins,
you sure? Especially since, well, it was a skirmish with goblins that brought you to be a bushi, was it not?
and for that reason I'm trained. To kill one
Very
when
good.
I see one.
This is further proof that you are not the scared boy that I saw back then. I wanted to make sure of that. I will see you when you get back.
Of course, Kiyoshi.
Was there anything
you
you
got a
guys
big
wanted
plate,
to do
man.
while you were... You each do. Was there anything you guys wanted to do before you met up with Kayuka on the Caillou Wall?
What else is there to do?
I want to buy some health
I
potions.
wasn't sure if there was something you could...
Get some magic
habit,
items
guy.
potentially.
It's habit for me to ask that. Sorry. All right, moving on.
Bid my farewells to my mother, take my leave, and head out. After replenishing my supplies like an intelligent person.
You guys are well rested. You have all of your abilities and all of your stats full and everything. You meet up with Kayuka on the Caillou Wall, and
What does it
she's
look
standing
like?
up on the wall, so you can see.
What does it look
What
like
does
when
the
we
wall
look
look
over
like?
the wall?
Probably about 100 feet away from the wall is where the forest begins. There's a clearing between that point. You can only see probably 2 or 3 trees into the forest before everything is obscured by the leaves, by the trunks, and especially by the mist in the Shadowlands. Of course, you've heard many tales, and you've seen mist and clouds that are white, misty gray, and that kind of thing. These are more black than you would expect. Sort of a very dark and foreboding mist that obscures.
So spoopy. It's very spoopy.
If you want to say that, yeah. It would certainly be intimidating to anyone who's not a warrior or a samurai.
And we're on top of the Caillou Wall looking into the Shadowlands seeing this?
Looking over it, yeah. So, my apologies. Between the forest and the wall, along with the plains, there's also a river that runs along the Caillou Wall. Kind of almost like a natural moat that just goes along and giving further defense, another line of defense for the crab lands. You also see off in the distance, if you were to travel deep enough in there, you would see mountains. I'm going to require a skill check here to see if you guys can see additional details. Let me see which skill would work for this one.
Aesthetics,
Here we
composition, design, smithing, fitness, martial arts,
Survival?
martial arts, meditation, tactics, culture, government, medicine, sentiment, theology, command, courtesy, games, performance, commerce, labor, seafaring, skullduggery, or survival.
Big survival.
Actually, don't you guys have something? Don't you guys have like vigilance or something?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like just a number. Would that be like the number of dice we roll?
I don't know if vigilance is used for checks per se. I actually forgot what vigilance is used for. Character's vigilance sets the target number to catch them off guard as well as the TN to deceive, mislead, or otherwise. Okay, so that's more if people are trying to deceive or surprise you. That's the target number they're trying to roll.
Are the mountains trying to deceive me?
Oh,
I'll go
so
ahead and-
deceived.
What are your guys' vigilance scores?
1.
2.
Spencer? Okay. So, Victor and Kikashi. You can see a couple of different things. You see kind of within the mountains, it seems like tiny slivers of smoke or mist are rising vertically from within the mountains. Almost as if there were a settlement in there.
Now, I'd like to make
all
a
three of
check
you-
to see if the mist is magical in nature.
It's a fair check.
Okay.
What skill are you using?
Probably skullduggery.
Skullduggery?
Why would
I'm just
This is
kidding.
probably going to be more of a knowledge-based kind of thing. By the way, Skullduggery is the name of a skill in the Star Wars game, too. Fantasy Flight Game seems to like the term Skullduggery.
It's also the name
It's
of
a good
character
word
in a
for,
book.
like, thievery stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I was just messing with you, Nick. We don't have to roll that. We're good. Is that the direction of the Goblin Camp that they were telling us?
If there was a... So, if you wanted to roll a theology check, you could do that. This is like about the spiritual realm, mystical beings, and phenomena, and religious rites. This is probably the closest. It sounds kind of like an Arcana check ish. Arcana religion from D&D. Do you want to make the check or no?
So I'll make the check. For skills, do we pick which ring we want to use regardless of our skill check?
Yes, you do.
The way that skill checks work is it's kind of a 3-step process. First, you have to determine what skill group this would fall into. And that's what Nick was saying, that it seems to fit into kind of the scholarly skills. They're broken up into artisan, martial, scholar, social, or trade. And then after that, you have to determine what specific skill within that group you're trying to use. So in this case, theology made the most sense since he was trying to determine the mystical nature, or perhaps the whatever nature, the special nature of it.
The otherworldly nature of this, yeah.
Precisely, the otherworldly nature, that's the right word. And then after you determine the skill, you have to determine the approach, which is the way that you're going to do it, which is where the rings come back into it. Each ring has a specific approach to each skill. So if you wanted to use theology and you're trying to analyze this, you're trying to analyze a specific thing and details about it, that is air. If you're trying to get a sense of it, using your instincts, that is void. If you're trying to theorize about the possibilities of that, that's fire. If you're trying to survey for clues around it, that would be water. And if you're trying to recall something about it, that would be earth. And those are the specific approaches within Scholar.
That skill group.
Exactly. Each skill group has their own approach set that you have to reason through.
I'm going to sense. I want to sense with void, kind of to get like maybe a magical feel for it.
You can use the void approach. All right, go ahead.
2 in void, so those are the 2 black dice, and then I have 3 in theology, so I get 3 of those, and I will roll
of the D12s. Yeah,
I got 1 success. I'm going to... I can roll a bunch of dice, but what I'll take is the 1 success and the 3 opportunities. And then I will probably use the void.
With that, Ty, you can only keep a max of 3 based on...
True. So...
your ring.
Also, in general, if you want another option for how to use opportunity, I would be willing to allow 2 opportunity to count as a success.
You know, I kind of want to use the 2 opportunities for the from the example table that says if you use 2, gain special insight into the nature of the universe or your own heart. At the GM's discretion, you may establish a fact about your character that has not been previously revealed but relates to the situation.
So right now, we're just going to have a moment of self-discovery as he's looking at the smoke in the distance.
In anime like Naruto, this would take half the episode.
Yeah.
We already have.
I'm looking out I'm looking out onto the wall, and I'm seeing the mist and like the magical nature of the land, and something inside me is stirring me to go deeper. Something that's not my own conscious, I guess. What do you think about that, Nick?
Oh, it's like Frozen 2. The call of the wind is pulling you.
Exactly, in a way.
So you're saying that something that doesn't seem quite like yourself, Kikashi, kind of like seems to call him out to some sort of strange connection, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm taking
Okay.
so much time on this.
Um,
Let's just go.
Now, so I'll add one small little thing to that. You strongly suspect that out there among the mountains in the Shadowlands is a settlement, and within that settlement you could find you feel like you're not sure why, but you feel like a clue to your past could be in there somewhere. But it is also quite much farther into the Shadowlands than you would be expected to go at this point.
Interesting. I'm going to keep a mental note of that in my brain.
Also, all three of you see, kind of off to the right, there are hills. On the other side of a valley, there's mountains to the left and hills to the right, with a valley kind of going through, and there's forest everywhere. But you do see what looks to be some sort of castle with its roof peak sort of sticking up from the trees a little bit within those hills in the Shadowlands.
Yes.
So I'm using as a reference the map on page 19 of the book, but picture, if you will, for me, a valley or sort of like a shallow ditch that stretches out in front of you. On the left side of that ditch, of that valley, are tall and sharp mountains. On the right side are rounder and shorter hills.
Okay, cool.
And again, there's a river, as well as there's that clearing, as well as the river that separates the wall from the edge of the Shadowlands, which is marked by trees.
Got it.
So Kayuka notices all of you sort of like staring out into the Shadowlands, and she says, Don't tell me none of you stood upon the Caillou wall and stared out upon the Shadowlands before."
Yeah, we've all done that. Oh, yeah.
I've done this, I basically do this every time. Yeah, I do this all the time, right?
My parents barely let me leave Hida Castle to go.
Well, yeah, I understand
understand
what you need to go through, Haruka.
Hey, Victor, this girl, she's homeschooled.
I don't know what you're trying to apply with that. I think all of us were homeschooled, considering the fact that, this is such a long time ago. I don't even think that they really have schools established, to be honest. I don't understand the insult that you're trying to come up with here.
Maybe it's a Falcon thing.
Established because it's part of the character creation process.
I mean, obviously military schools like that, but general K through 12 that they have in the 21st century that I don't know why would know anything about that.
It's called the rice fields. That's where you're learning.
Anyway, Kayuka says, in any case, as I was trying to explain to you, I don't know if any of you are listening. Spoiler alert, you guys weren't. She points to a spot. You see kind of what appears to be a small sort of hole in the trees, not very far into the forest. She said, in there, we believe is where the goblin camp is. As you can see, it is, it's pretty close. It's only a couple hundred feet into the forest. And we want to make sure that we want as much of a buffer as possible between us and any creatures in there. So what we want you to do is we want you to go to that spot. If there are goblins there, well, drive them off or eradicate them. I don't care. If you could, destroy them. That is certainly preferable. But if nothing else, drive them away. If you can find any hints or clues as to why there would be a goblin camp so close, that would also be helpful as well. So any investigation you might find with that would be good. But if nothing else, go in there, get rid of that camp, and come back as soon as possible.
All right. Are there some ladders to get down or a gate?
Yeah. Do you have and then also about the topic of getting to the other side of the river? That looks like pretty rough water. I'm not a swimmer.
I'm going. So, and she points.
Bridge,
she points down to the river and she says, "You see, you guys notice that there is actually a small boat tied to the end of your side of the river." And she said, "That will be your escort across the river. You'll be taken to the edge of the forest, and the three of you will go into the Shadowlands yourself."
Dope.
Sounds good to me.
Good luck to all of you, and certainly report back to me if you find anything noteworthy. And with that, you guys are sent off.
Okay.
So on the Shadowlands side of the wall, she releases a collapsible ladder that rolls down, and you all can climb down that ladder. As soon as all three of you are off that ladder, she takes it's a combination of rope and wood, rolls it back up and puts it up on the wall. And then you go over to the boat, and you see a couple of wall guards there, and they row you across the river, and they drop you off, and then they row back to the other side.
I feel like this is like a prank, and we're just going to get pranked hard. They're all watching from the wall.
It's a surprise party. Silly string everywhere.
It was actually my birthday. Thanks, guys.
Dang it, they got me again.
All right,
Okay.
well, Victor,
Anyway,
we'll be behind you.
But yeah, it just goes to show that they're being very cautious about making sure there's no way that anything coming from the Shadowlands that's not gets over the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess onward.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Draw my katana and have it ready, and I'm going to follow Victor, saying, hey, you're,
Yep.
when we dueled, I couldn't even break through your armor, so I think you're going to make
Your point.
easy work of these goblins. You're on point, man. You're strong like the earth.
Okay,
I'm just gonna walk.
Mm-hmm. We're all walking behind
know.
you.
I walk. Do you need a check on
Alright.
that?
I would like each of you to make a survival check
Dope.
as you try to navigate you're told where to go from the wall. Make a survival check to see if you can find your way to that spot within the dark and misty forest. Even though it is daytime, by the way, it feels like twilight here because of how thick the canopy is and how dark the mist is.
All right. I got a 2 in survival, and I'm going to go with the subsist, which is void. So that's my choice of what I'm going to roll.
Listening
Going for void as
to...
well.
As you had already explained, we weren't really paying too much attention when she was going through the rules of what was going on. So I'm using the fire ring, which is to innovate an approach and come up with my own way to hack and slash to said goblin town.
Nice. Nick, I am going to keep 2 successes and 1 opportunity, as well as 1 stress.
1 strike. Okay. Is there a particular
strife.
way you want to use that opportunity?
Let me look while everyone else is kind of doing their thing.
I don't know what I want to keep.
Oh wow!
Nick,
All the dice have strife on them. What?
Yeah.
I'm going to use it to act subtly to attract minimal attention to your effort. So it makes my attempts even subtler.
Similar.
On the positive
that's what it-
side,
that's
I
what
could
it
have
says.
gotten 3.
Alright, so you got
I'm
2
gonna-
successes. You got 1
I'm gonna
strife.
take-
Yeah.
Since I'm in the fire stance with my approach, I think you also... Do you get the bonuses for that? Or is that just in conflict?
That's just in
Oh, I think
combat.
that's just conflict.
The passive bonuses from stances do not apply in narrative
True.
scenes.
Dang.
True.
That would
Cool.
be nice.
Then I'm just gonna take the opportunity that I got and fail it, because I don't want to take any strife.
If I fail, can I just follow them?
What do you
Yeah,
mean
that's
if you
kinda
fail?
what I
figured.
I see all kinds of successes on your
I
dice
know,
there.
but they all have strife.
They're all strife.
I mean,
Don't worry,
strife
I
is not
succeeded.
bad.
I took 1 strife and succeeded, so I think we'll be Gucci.
And you got 2 successes, right, Tyler?
Correct. 2 successes,
And
1
Spencer,
opportunity. and a
Spencer,
strife.
how many successes did you get from it?
0.
You got 0.
Well, I mean, I could take a success, but I don't want to take strife. Actually, I'll take one success with 1 strife. You know what? I'll take
take the
a
same.
extra large, no pickles, hold the mayo.
2 strifes.
I'll do
That's
one
what this game
success with
feels
one
like when I'm
strife.
explaining this. Yeah, I'm taking 1 strife,
all I
1
want.
success, 1 opportunity, 1 of everything, and like I said, hold the pickles.
That's true.
Okay. So, those of you who suffered strife, even though you've been trained for years and been told a lot about the basics of the Shadowlands and, you know, have heard about what it's like and some of the basic creatures that are, that live in there, it is still unnerving to actually set foot in here, for you guys. And so, especially Kikashi still feels a bit of that, like, there's not necessarily the surroundings, but something about, like, the feel of this place feels familiar somehow. You cannot place it. It doesn't give you any new information, but there's just, perhaps your character's a bit worried about what you've been worried about, and so forth. But yeah, so because Kikashi got 2 successes, though, Kikashi is able to help lead the group in the right direction, is able to find what seems to be footprints that would belong to goblins, based on descriptions you've heard of them. And
Guys, I found some goblin tracks here in the woods. See these mud prints? They're little tiny feet with 6 toes.
Reaching down, I pinch a little bit of the mud, and I put a little bit in my mouth, and I go, "It's fresh."
What are you're sensing freshness?
Yeah, definitely freshness.
Like how
you're
fresh we
tasting
talking?
the tracks.
Yep,
sure what,
tasted the tracks. I know what I'm doing, GM. Stay out of this voice.
Is that a crab technique?
But you do, so Kikashi does notice, Kikashi specifically notices that the way that they're walking, they're always in close quarters, pretty close.
And they're
to each
bow-legged.
other.
There's a lot of weight on the outside of their feet, like they're cowboys or something.
Cow goblins.
Because of that success, you guys are able to hear some kind of like high pitched grunting and growling and chatter.
How does it sound?
Yeah, what does it sound like?
I can't hear it.
I can't do it with a straight face.
Gosh dang it, they got cats.
Guys,
They're
I'm
cat
trying to.
What? An elephant?
Stuff like that.
I love it.
But then also sprinkled in there are words you understand. Things such as, "Gotta wait for a signal, you idiot! Ow! No!
That's the sound of a crab hitting a head.
You're interrupting my cooking!" All that kind of like, sneering and everything. That's what you guys hear. You don't see it quite yet, but if you get closer, you would probably be able to see it. There are certainly still trees around. You can kind of see that there is a clearing up ahead, and that's where the sound is coming from.
They're having
Okay.
dinner time. Let's go for it.
So if someone asked about skullduggery before,
Yeah, that's what I'm using. I'm gonna skullduggeroo.
this is things like crime, sneaking, things like that.
It's the craft of spies.
The craft of
That's how
spieries.
it's described.
As well as in this game, in this setting of shinobi.
I wrote so hard on that skullduggery. I got 2 successors.
I don't really want to roll this, but okay.
I'm
This
using
is essentially to see how sneaky you guys are.
So what
Okay.
approaches are you guys using? I'm trying to figure.
I'm already off in the freaking woods, like sneaking up on these mothers.
What approach did you use? That doesn't help.
Yeah.
I used.
We're asking about the rings.
I
Like
used
the ring,
air.
like asking about approach and ring is interesting. Air. So that
I'm
would
using
be,
con.
So yeah. So in this case, yeah, air is subtlety, essentially. You're trying to be subtle in your movements and sneaking forward.
You see Kikashi put his arms back behind his chest, and he leans forward and begins to sprint into the forest very quietly, preparing to battle the goblins.
The anime runs silently.
Victor is not very aerodynamic, so he has 1 in that ring. Let's see how it goes. He has no skullduggery either.
Explosive?
No, just success and strife. I'll take it.
I'll take it. Why not?
I got 2 opportunities, 1 success, 1 strife, and I'm using the avoid approach to move without disturbing my environment.
That's a good one. It's a very good one.
Erasing all traces of your presence.
Sneaky.
She's got a little brush behind her that's just like she's sweeping away.
She just sweeps her tracks.
Works every time. If the goblins had done that, we wouldn't have found them.
Yeah, Victor he sees you two run off and just sneak off, and he goes, "Oh crap. Something like this." And I just start like walking, but kind of crouched down forward through the brush, but not making too much of an effort to be quiet, just not visible.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say you were crab walking.
Oh yeah, do it.
You're funny, honey.
Dang it.
Thank you. Well, yeah. So as you advance forward, all of a sudden you hear from the camp, "We got shot." Oh, that's I think we got some people here. What? What are you talking about? And then you just all you hear is a shh.
That's Victor, who stopped, listened for a moment, and then kept walking.
All right.
So I got 2 opportunities. Does that equal a success?
If you want to use those to make a success.
So I got 2 successes?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll do that.
Okay.
And 1 strife.
Excellent. It's because Kikashi and Heraku are ahead, they can see the camp. It's seems like a very rudimentary camp. There's the fire in the middle with a pot hanging over it. There's some sort of like wooden stick or spoon that was stuck in the nasty looking stew. A bunch of logs around some of the trees.
Couple brewskis.
A couple of hobbits roasting over the fire.
Not that, no.
We just need to get the sunlight.
It's a good idea.
But you two actually, like when you look at the camp, the goblins are actually not there right now.
Ooh.
So I'm going to roll something for the goblins.
No, you're not allowed.
Now that I know how vigilance works. So, when Kikashi and Heraku look around, they realize something that Victor does not. The goblins have somehow snuck up, all 3 of them, behind Victor, and they're about to attack. And they have some small knives and daggers in their hands, and they're about to strike.
Kikashi giggles. It's like, that's not gonna get through. that's those silly goblins. And I do a bird call to get Victor's attention.
I look around.
And you see the 3 goblins just right up in your face. They
they're on me now.
They're very nasty looking creatures. They have sort of like nasty, the sort of slightly elongated snouts. They have dark, shadowy, like skin,
sideburns
that makes them kind of blend more into the environment. What? Never mind.
dark and shadowy sideburns.
They got some nice chops.
You were kind of making this motion up here, so I just figured that's what they were.
No.
I like it.
So I would like everyone to make a tactics check. We're going to go into a skirmish scene.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Yes, skirmish. Blood.
Earth stance. Oh, come on. Taking one success and one opportunity. You can go sit in timeout.
Let's see, that's 3. Do we have to take 3 dice, or can we do less?
You can take as many as you want, or as few as you want.
Up to
your ring. Yeah.
2 opportunities, then, for Tyler.
What did Haruka get?
one success and one opportunity.
And what did Victor get?
1 success, 2 opportunity. Oh, do we want to announce our stances?
Go ahead. I think.
Earth stance.
I think now talking, including the rings as much as possible, adds to the fun of it. Earth stance for Haruka.
Turning around and seeing these 3 monsters or creatures behind me, I immediately go into my default Earth stance.
I continue in my air stance as I faint and hide to get
You
into a
just
better...
faint.
I just pass out. I was up in a tree. I fall out of the tree. No, I try to sneak up a little bit more on them so I can get in range before they notice me with air.
All right.
Nice.
So, I think the order we're going to go with is... Well, the goblins actually get to go first.
They have
And
no
then
honor.
Victor, Haruka, and Kikashi. There's a feature that Shadowlands Goblins has that has to do with assistance, and I need to remind myself exactly how assistance for assist action 257. Oh, page 26. Yeah. Keep bringing me all over the place.
I just like seeing how many pages you can flip before you get to where you need to go.
Your character making a check receives assistance from one or more others. The character making the check rolls 1 additional rank dice per assisting character has 1 or more ranks in that, and 1 additional ring dice per character who has 0 ranks in the skill in use. Okay, got it. So it's basically just additional dice for each additional one. One goblin with the assist. So they have a feature called Unsightly Rabble. You see the 3 of the goblins are heckling you and kind of surrounding you, Victor. And one of them in particular is going to attack. So they got a bunch of opportunity, and they were causing such a ruckus and everything that Victor fails to notice that 2 of the goblins are actually going right over against the Shugenji. So each of you, both Kikashi and Haruka, are going to suffer 4 physical damage.
Why?
Because when making an attack action check with assistance, a goblin may spend opportunity like this. One character other than the target at range 0 to 2. So I believe range 2 is about 10 feet away or something. Suffers 4 physical damage. This opportunity can be activated a number of times per round, equal to the number of goblins assisting with the check.
So it's not a critical strike or a
No, it's not. This is just 4 damage.
Okay.
Hits against your fatigue.
Yeah.
Well, joke's on you. I'm 15 feet away, so...
Nice.
Oh, it's against my...
Endurance.
So
it's
you
physical?
apply your sanctified robes first,
Yeah.
which
it's
I believe gives
physical.
you a defense of 1. That reduces the damage to 3, so you're going to take 3 fatigue.
Nice.
Great.
Already at that half health.
The goblin that was attacking Victor was not successful at all. They were trying to be all sneaky and everything, and trying to find a weak point in his armor, but they were not able to find one. They did not get any successes whatsoever.
Hey, so Nick, I'm a little bit confused narratively how we took damage. Like, do they flood past Victor and kind of claw at us, kind of like out of the blue?
I didn't make that very clear, did I? Okay, so So they spent their turn, again, sort of like trying to assist one goblin in attacking Victor, trying to make noise and distract him and everything. But then, during all of that, rush over to each of you to attack you.
Okay.
This is, again, unsightly rabble. This is them trying to make trouble in as many places as possible.
Would you mind describing the scene a little bit so I can visualize what the battlefield looks like and the distance between everybody?
Right. The distance was never established beforehand. Maybe this might be a good time to briefly mention how ranges work. So, in structured time, how distance is measured is through ranges. Range 0 is yourself. Range 1 is, if you're using a grid, it's like an adjacent square from you is range of 1. Range 2 is 2 squares away. Range 3 is 3 to 6 squares away, and so forth. So in other words, range 0 is touch, is close enough to touch them like with your hand. Range 1 is close enough to slash with a sword. Range 2 is close enough with a spear. Range 3 gets into the throwing area, so about 5 to 10 yards. Range 4 is with a bow. And range 5 is with, at the edge of a bow's distance, 100 yards plus. And range 6 is in sight, but not within range of any normal attack. I guess it would be like a siege weapon, maybe, but...
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So, would a goblin count as an otherworldly or tainted being?
They do count as they count as a tainted being, yes.
And I would know that.
You would know that, yeah.
Okay.
Both of the Shugenji would know that Shadowlands goblins are considered tainted beings.
Okay, that's just important for me to know.
Yeah. Okay.
She's got her Pokedex out.
Goblin.
Who's
tainted, whatever. I believe Victor is up.
We described ranges, but would you describe the actual scene, like the battlefield where we are?
Right. So Kikashi and Haruka were able to sneak ahead a little bit, while Victor was trailing behind a little bit. I figured that it would make sense for Victor to be about range 2 away from them.
Are there trees around me? Is it tall grass?
Yeah,
is it brush?
You're still in the thick of forest. You are on the edge of a clearing. You're not in that clearing right now. You're sort of toward the edge of that within sight of the goblin camp. So there are a bunch of trees and a bunch of grass on the ground. Well, like brown grass. And there's also is, of course, mist. Although it doesn't affect visibility that much in this area.
When you say thick of the forest, thick of the trees, does that mean that we wouldn't be able to swing our weapons thick of the forest? Or is this...
You have plenty of room to swing melee weapons. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So for my action, because I didn't say that I had done this before, I'm going to take out my war club and sort of back into the clearing area, more where my comrades are.
So would you say you're going to
prepare my weapon to use it
away from them? Or?
You should have said, I had it out. That's what I did.
Yeah, sure. I'll be range... No, I'll be range... I'll be range 2 away still, so I'm not, super close, but closer.
Excellent. Haruka's turn.
Haruka, am going to use Jade Strike for my attack.
Okay. What does that do?
So, as an attack action, you may make a TN2 Theology Earth check, targeting one character at range 0 to 3. If you succeed and the target is an otherworldly or tainted being, you smite and purify it with Searing Jade Energy. It suffers a critical strike with severity equal to your Earth Ring plus your bonus successes.
Ooh.
The creature may spend 2 opportunity from its check to resist this critical strike to conceal that it has been affected, potentially concealing its nature, though it still suffers the effects that it successfully hit. you succeed and your target is not an otherworldly or tainted being, it suffers no ill effects. And if I succeed, each target that is an otherworldly being, I can use opportunities to have them suffer the silenced condition and cannot use
Magic.
Maho techniques until the
Dark
end of
magic,
turn.
basically.
That's
what Maho
blood
is.
magic.
So, I get to make a theology check. Which I am rank 2, so I get 3 for Earth, 2 for theology. Ooh, that is not bad at all. I can keep 3, so I guess I'll keep those 3. So I got
3 successes.
3 successes and an opportunity.
Okay. So, this goblin you are striking suffers a critical strike.
Nice.
The severity is equal to, what, your ring that you're using plus bonus successes?
Yep.
Okay, so you got 1. So you needed 2 successes. You got...
Ooh, actually, maybe I'll take the strife for an explosive.
So you're gonna, not take this one, right?
I don't know.
You can only keep 3 dice. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and roll another ring dice because you got explosive success.
And I got another success.
You got
Woo!
4 successes. All right. So the ring you're using, it was Earth, which is 3, plus 2 bonus successes. The severity is 5. So now the goblin needs to make a fitness check against that.
Insta kill.
Yeah, that was worth a strife.
I concur with that.
Okay, so it's so they succeeded on the fitness check. They reduced the severity by 1 plus their bonus successes. So instead of 5, they reduced the severity to 2, unless there's some other effects that I forgot about.
It can spend 2 opportunity. It also is silenced.
It is silenced. Okay. So severity...
And it's smitten and purified.
All right.
It's a lot of stuff.
So severity level 2 of a critical strike is close call. The hit slices the character's hair or clothes but fails to draw blood. If the goblin were wearing armor, the armor would get the damaged quality. Actually, the goblins do have some scavenged Ashigaru armor, so his armor is damaged now. But he's also silenced. What the silenced means, they increase the target number of their scheme action checks and checks to activate invocations Maho and Suji by 3. Incantations, Maho, trying to use their words, it's much more difficult for them. And next is Kikashi.
I'm going to run towards the closest goblin and take a strike action. So I rolled. I got 2 successes, 1 opportunity, and 1 strife. Now, with the air stance, I'm going to use the opportunity to add an additional opportunity to the roll. Because add a kept black dice set to opportunity result for your next martial skill check. So on my next one, I'll get a free dice.
So you got 2 successes, right?
Correct.
Normally a strike has a target number of 2. The goblins were using air, however. This increases the target number of attack and scheme actions targeting them by 1. You needed 3 to strike it, not 2. So you can spend opportunity if you wish, but you do not, your strike is not successful.
Your strike is not true.
But I do get to keep that opportunity dice for next round, so that's good.
What was that for? Is that in one of your techniques?
No, it's just the conflict and martial skills example for opportunities. Oh. So in the air, I get to add a kept one of the black dice set as an opportunity result for my next martial skill check.
Nice. Way cool.
So hopefully next round I can get an additional opportunity, and if I need to, I can make it a success, or I can get a crit if I land. So we'll see. But I miss, so that's my turn.
All right, we're back to the goblins. So each of the goblins this time they're separated. So each of them are going to try to attack each of you. So here we go, and they're using small yari, small swords. The goblin targeting Victor got 2 successes, which I believe is enough for the strike to be successful.
Yeah.
And
But will he
What?
kill?
How much damage does he do?
he does 5 damage. Which I think your armor negates all of that, if I'm not mistaken.
It negates 4. So,
Okay, so you take 1 fatigue.
Eesh.
yeah.
Eesh. I don't want to get hit by these goblins
Now for
because
the-
I'll be dead.
Now the one attacking Haruka.
Remember, it's silenced.
It is silent. You can still strike, though.
I know. But
Okay, so it got 2 successes. And so that's 5 damage. And then finally the goblin attacking Kikashi.
I'm in air stance, so it's got to be a 3.
these things are ridiculous.
Well, with that, which it actually is unable to get 3 successes without
Woo!
explosive successes. And it only got 2 this time.
Woody.
So,
Guys, air stance is
Good on
where
you.
it's at.
Which one
Now
of you
it
has
is-
taken more damage? Can I tell?
I'm at
It
7.
seems like
Probably
Rebecca has
Rebecca.
taken more damage.
yeah, Haruka is noticeably more fatigued.
Alright, so I see that Haruka is looking not so well. And I decide to take the guard action, so I step between her and her foe. As the support action, using my readied weapon, I make a TN1 tactics check targeting my partner within the weapon's range. If I succeed, I guard them until the beginning of my next turn, and I increase the TN of the attacks against my targeted ally by 1 plus any bonus successes.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Get my die out. Ooh. 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 Ooh.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
No, I was just exclaiming after each of them. Now I have to look at my table. Alright, I am going to take, since it's only a TN1. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, I got 1 explosive success with a strife, so I'm going to keep that. So that's 1 success, which passes the TN1 tactics. And then I'm going to keep 2 other successes, so now the TN for her goes up by 2 in order to hit
Nice.
Rebecca.
That's a big
Haruka.
play. That was hot.
Haruka,
That was hot.
Yes.
I like it.
your turn.
I thought I just went.
Well, Spencer just went. Now it's your turn.
Look,
feel like
I
just
I
went.
see what I
Okay.
see what you're trying to do. You just have to keep Jade striking these mothers, and we could go home.
Does it do damage when I do Jade Strike?
It didn't say it did damage, right? It said it was a critical strike.
Yeah.
Fine, just
If I
kill
do
them.
enough
Do whatever
critical
you have to
strikes,
do.
we'll
I'm
kill it.
defending. I'm doing the hard work here. I'm being a beat shield.
I already rolled my attack, so I'm ready whenever. It's really good. It's like the first roll I've had that's just like killer.
It just so happened that the one you targeted with your Jade Strike, they were able to reduce the severity by a lot. But again, that goblin's armor is damaged.
I'm doing it again.
Damaged armor is important to note because if armor is damaged, that means that the resistances it provides are reduced by 2 to a minimum of 0.
And so right now, instead of 3, it is just 1. It only resists 1 damage.
I'm
Okay.
gonna end this
Jade
goblin's
Strike's-
career.
Is this a normal strike or is this Jade
He
Strike?
puts in his formal resignation. You see him. He just comes into work with his
I'm gonna end this
slip and
guy's
just
whole
slides it
career.
I'm
across
gonna
the
my
desk.
turn. I'm ending this goblin's career. This whole career.
So what does Smite and Purifying do?
I think that was narrative text.
But it's highlight. It's italics.
Let's see. Smite.
Oh,
Let me look it up
Yeah,
for you.
it's italicized.
I'm trying to see that. Oh,
It's italicized.
let me look at that. I'm looking it up.
That means it's important, since it's not Asian-sounding words. Well, they said that the first time they use any word that's Japanese, they italicize it. So, obviously, last I checked, Smite and Purify were very English words.
Purify.
I don't see.
I'm not seeing
that.
anything in the index.
Yeah.
Try Control F.
It's searching.
You
It's
use
working
invocations,
hard.
right?
Yeah.
You are pushing my computer to its limits. It's got 3 programs open and Control F. No.
The only thing I'm finding is here, it says like, each invocation contains one or more italicized keywords in its effect. These are reminders how the invocations function, and some abilities refer to them. The ones in this book include, and then it goes through some stuff, and there's invocations that cast out evil spirits. It doesn't say anything about like mechanics that go with Purify. I think it's more just like telling you when you could use them. Like these Purify spells would be good against evil spirits or evil people.
So if it sounds like it's one of those things where it affects other things that use the word.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
So
just think
I will
like
go
you're
ahead-
casting out Satan. Okay, that's what you're doing here.
Leave
job.
this body!
I compel you.
Well, in this case, this is the evil, jealous realm of Jigoku, kind of like its influence spilling out into the mortal realm, which is the Shadowlands.
Well, regardless, I'm using Jade Strike again.
Okay.
I got 2 successes, which I believe is what I needed,
Yeah.
plus an opportunity, so silenced again, and it gets 3. Critical strike rank 3.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
They can do a check, though.
Yeah, they can do a fitness check.
He's
let me
working
double-
on his
let me
fitness.
double check
I'm his witness. Make them boys go rock, rock.
Okay.
Make those gobos rock, rock. They'll be running around the
Lines
Shadowlands.
down the block just to watch what I got.
Okay. So it's successful. So it reduces its severity
Wait,
by.
what does it need to succeed?
Oh,
It
man.
needs, so it's a TN1.
Oh, okay.
It needed 1 success, and so it reduces it by 1. So from 3 to 2.
And do they just ignore Strife?
Well,
Gobos don't
I'm,
care.
I'm adding the strife to their. What is
Agabo's
it,
life is strife.
His whole life is strife.
It's their.
Homie
Not
don't
their-
know
their
no
composure.
other life.
Okay.
He actually
do have
dies
a
if he
composure
feels
stat.
good.
Okay. So if they succeed...
The moment he
Then
goes
they
into
reduce the
meditation
severity
is
by
the
how many
moment he
successes
loses
they
his
have. In
edge.
this
Literally
case, from
kill
3 to 2,
him with
which is
kindness.
Another close call.
Okay.
Your kind words
All
do
right,
more damage
Kikashi.
than anything else because they have terrible self-loathing and low self-esteem.
All right.
And pulling out my sword would be an action, right?
Yeah, I'm preparing an
Yeah,
item.
preparing a weapon would be.
I'm going to end this goblin's
It is
career.
Kikashi's
I'm going to
turn.
end it right now, right here. So my
This is where we put a meme in there, right? Like we post a
I
meme on
rolled.
Instagram. It's like Kikashi in the Shadowland. I'm gonna end this goblin's whole career.
I'll make one. I will make one. So my first roll, I rolled a explosive and then 2 successes. I re-rolled the explosive and got a success with an opportunity. So I have 4 successes with 2 opportunities because of my last action, which I can add an opportunity. So I'm going to crit on this gobbo.
Okay. So first of all, the damage. You get to add 1 to your damage because you got 1 more success than you needed. How much damage?
So with my katana, I'm going to do 2-handed, so it's going to be 6 damage.
Plus the 1, so 7.
Oh, sorry. It's going to be 5 damage. Then the deadliness is going to be 7.
7, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
7.
The severity goes up, not the
Yeah,
damage.
sorry, I mixed that up.
Okay, so it takes a little bit of fatigue, but the severity of the critical strike is 7. So it is going to try to do a fitness check.
Fail.
It did succeed. It got 1 success. So instead of a 7, it's going to be a 6.
Yes.
So instead of permanent injury, you're going to do debilitating gash. The character suffers so the goblin suffers the severely wounded condition for the ring, for the ring they used for their check. So they used air, again, to resist. If the attack had razor edge quality, the character also suffers the bleeding condition.
Guess what? I do.
Guess
who's getting that bleed? The gobbo.
So that's severely wounded, air, and bleeding. So first of all, let's start with severely wounded first. They increase the target number of their checks with the affected ring by 3. So anytime they're trying to use air, they have to roll 3 more successes than they need. So
Guys,
they probably won't be using air that much anymore.
I'm doing something, guys.
And then for bleeding, let's see. When a bleeding character makes a check, they suffer physical damage equal to the strife symbols on their kept dice, ignoring their resistances. Each time damage inflicted this way caused the character to suffer a critical strike. Severity is equal to the character's current fatigue. Wow. Yeah, this goblin's getting messed up.
His whole career down the toilet.
Now we move on to the goblins. They're going to keep attacking as let's see, this time instead. This is not the severely wounded one.
So is its armor like super damaged for the one that's been?
He's naked. He's naked.
It would no longer have any protecting quality. It'd be reduced to 0. If a damaged armor becomes damaged again, it loses the damage condition and becomes destroyed instead.
Oh,
nice. You've stripped
this
gobbo.
He is naked.
So the goblin that Heraku is fighting
You done
no longer
took his
has
loincloth.
It actually had scavenged Ashigaru armor. So anyway, the goblin was not successful in attacking Victor. It only got 1 success. Now let's go for the one attacking Heraku.
It needs to get a 4 now.
Right. Well, actually,
I used the guard action, which increases it.
use the thing. Well, here's the funny thing. From his 2 kept dice, he got 2 explosive successes.
It doesn't always mean.
Okay.
Ouch.
It only got 2 successes, so it fails.
Nice.
And now, the one attacking Kikashi. So instead of using the air ring, it's going to use something else. And gets no successes whatsoever. It did not get any strife, though, so it doesn't take any additional damage.
Lucky boy.
Alright, Victor.
I'm going to use the guard action again. That seemed to work pretty well, and it seems like that would probably be the best thing that I could do, instead of trying to deal damage. Here's my chart.
So I could either take a turn and pull out my katana, or I can keep using Jade Strike.
It's up to you. What would your character do?
I don't know.
WWH.
I think I'll keep using Jade Strike and see if I can get some critical successes that will then stack.
And make even more naked gobbos.
Well, no, because if I can up the severity, then it does more. Yeah.
Does Heraku like goblins?
I'm gonna take 1 success and 1 strife, so that's only gonna increase your TN by 1 next time. But I figure from the sounds of it, they don't roll a ton of dice to begin with, so good luck, Heraku.
Okay,
this worked alright the last time. You could strip this one, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, man.
Okay, is it my turn now?
Yep.
I'm gonna Jade Strike again, see if I can get some better results. Woo! That is way better. Okay. And then do I roll another white dice?
You roll another, skill dice for the explosive success. And you got another explosive success.
Nice.
Very nice.
And a success and an opportunity.
That is 5 successes.
And an opportunity, so it's still silence. And that's 5. So it was 2, so 3 plus 3 is 6. So it's a rank 6.
The severity is 6. All right,
You blow his clothes right off his body. It just flies off behind him.
There's a lot of falling clothes.
So the goblin's able to reduce the 6 to a 5, but it's still the same thing. It's still a debilitating gash. So now there are 2 severely wounded goblins, which basically just means that one of their rings is effectively disabled.
Mine is Earth.
No, it's what they were using.
Oh, what they were using.
The ring they were using. But Heraku was not using a razor-edged one, so this one is not bleeding. but it is still severely wounded. So it's got it. So another goblin effectively can't use its air ring very much.
Lols.
To much effect. Now we move on to Kikashi.
I'm gonna challenge this goblin to a duel.
You're challenging him.
I'm gonna say,
Okay.
You
Let's just finishing blow him immediately.
you beast of
I
the
challenge
infernal.
you. Now let's go.
You found out my
I challenge
strategy.
you. Finishing blow.
You beast of the
So,
infernal
challenge
land, I
is-
challenge
so
you to
the-
battle one-on-one! Right here!
So the
Right
challenge you're making, it's an action. You need to make a command check, target number of 1.
Okay, so I'm gonna end this guy's career right here.
And
Again?
also you must stake 10 honor and 5 glory upon the
I'm gonna do
challenge,
it.
which you forfeit if you sabotage the
I'm
clash.
gonna do it. 2 successes and 1 opportunity.
Do you not
Okay.
take strife?
No,
Jeez.
I got a strife, so I also got strife. So I am at
If you
3 strife.
succeed, which you did, the target must choose whether to accept or to decline. If the target accepts, they also stake 10 honor and 5 glory, which they forfeit if they take any attack or scheme action before the clash. At the end of the round, the clash begins. To decline, the target must forfeit glory equal to your ranks in command, plus the bonus successes. Each of your allies with lower glory than you suffers 2 strife. Then you gain 1 void point.
So the other 2 are gonna get more strife.
Thanks.
So here's the thing. Yeah, it's going to decline because it doesn't really have glory to stake on. It's just like you're trying to duel me? What? No, that's not how we did that. So that's not how goblins do things. They swarm basically, and everything. So
I knew you were a
or they try
coward.
to. So each of their allies with lower glory, but again, there's no glory on their stat block
But
at
they
all,
do
so-
take 2 strife.
and then you gain a void point. We haven't talked very much about how void points are used, but you get one of those. So yeah, they suffer 2 strife. We now move on to the goblins again. None of the goblins' endurance or composure have been like compromised or gone over, but they're seeing that they're doing barely anything to you guys, and especially with Victor's guard against the one they were damaging, Heraku. They kind of look at each other and saying things like, guys, I think we got to regroup, or yeah. Let's go back to the back to the daylight. Yeah, back to the daylight. And they all they use their turn to run away. As the goblins run away, and we're going to end the episode at the end of this little scene here. You see a human-sized and shaped figure tread slowly towards you. And you hear this voice saying, "It has been so long since I've seen some of you dare to come in here."
Voldemort.
The figure, as he walks closer, looks like this.
Gosh, no.
Basically a skeleton in samurai armor. And that's where we will end.
Oh no.
They got samurai, guys!
Hey, I'm Brad, and if you like D&D, and fantasy stories with lots of magic, adventure, strange beasts, and oddball characters, and comedians with New Zealand accents, then oh boy, have I got just the show for you. The Fate of Ison is a podcast that has, wait for it, all of those things. Remember those things I mentioned? It's got all of them! Now go listen to The Fate of Ison because it's good and you deserve good things. Fate of Ison, a proud member of the Necropodicon Network.
Necropodicon. Hard to pronounce, easy to listen.
Dun, da, 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 da.